Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, it seems like NATO gave in to Zelensky's demand, I would say, and they will convene a Ukraine NATO Council at Zelensky's request. Stoltenberg announced. What does that mean? Well, the Zelensky now is upset that he gets pounded in Odessa, in a southern part of Ukraine, and he claims that, the Russians destroy grain facilities, and it's going to be a global starvation, possibly. But in the meantime, the counteroffensive stalled because I don't think it was launched, and then immediately just went down. And I think that's the big problem, not necessarily what's going on in Odessa. The Russians conducted another massive attack, 19 missiles overnight, and they've been doing this for 5 consecutive days or so. And this guy said, NATO, Daddy, the self-appointed global police force, NATO, will intervene maybe. I don't think so, but there's a reason for them to say, see, we need to, because the Russians really, really are bad. Everybody, let's go. I don't know exactly to what extent they will get involved in it, because the Russians will hit them. The Russians will not have patience with NATO. They will not play ping pong with them or, conventional weapons and all that. I suspect. Why? Because, or maybe they will start it that way and will probably destroy a few targets within the European Union, and the Americans again will be unscattered. How these guys maneuvered Europe politically, economically, and militarily to fuck themselves up. It's unbelievable. And this is the elected officials that some Europeans voted for. So nevertheless, see, when you have, how should I put it, extreme situations, you're going to use extreme methods. So, but the extreme situation, you can be part of creating that extreme situation, escalating, pushing it, channeling towards becoming an extreme situation. So you can come as a savior. Now I have to intervene, my bad, I'm sorry. After you fanned that fire, you put logs on the other one and you create the whole thing, or you at least helped. Now you say, well, I gotta intervene. And I intervene the way I feel fit, which is fulfilling my goals from the very beginning. Russia must be helped, if you know what I mean. So here we have this article. Let me read it for you. Here it is. Ukrainska Pravda. Stoltenberg convenes Ukraine NATO Council at Zelensky's request. And yesterday I made this video. Zelensky became West's liability by trying to drag NATO in a hot war with Russia. Again, he's trying to do this. He tried on multiple occasions, blaming the Russians with the S-300 missiles in Poland, blaming the Russians missiles crossing, supposedly, but it was a lie, over the Romanian territory in an attack on Lviv. Remember when they said, the missiles attacked over there? So those are at least 2 examples when these guys tried falsely and accused Russia of attacking NATO. Indirectly. So in this one, I explained a little bit more of what this guy Zelensky wants to do, or not wants, maybe what he is supposed to do, according to the list that he's having in his ass. And he looks at it sometimes, all right, to make sure that he's not walking astray. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has agreed to convene a meeting of the newly formed Ukraine NATO Council at the request of President Volodymyr Zelensky. You see, these guys, as I said, they will somehow, even let's say Finland or Sweden would have been blocked from joining NATO. Let's say these guys would have found a different way. I said this many times before. Even if they're blocked, they will find a different way of doing everything NATO would do to have this incorporated. They will not be on the paper NATO members, but they will create something parallel, like a direct, will form a new, agreement between, let's say, Sweden and NATO, Finland and NATO, which will say we can do this, basically everything what's in NATO. And they will do it. The United States will just say bang, and the European weasels say, yes, we do it. I don't even, probably the US is not going to even ask them. They know exactly what they're supposed to do because they're already conditioned for so many years, and they under the US's this because the US defends them. All right, against the boogeyman or the evil Russians, however you want to look at it. So, yeah, and these guys right now are trying to create the same thing with Ukraine, which is not part of NATO, but somehow is under the protection of NATO. Remember? Under the protection, Lebensraum. You know what Lebensraum is? Well, look it up in the history and see what the Germans used it for. And this is kind of like exactly what certain countries nowadays do exactly, I would say, not exactly, but under different euphemistic, terms, do the same thing. They need living space. They need resources. And where are they going to take it? Again, Russia. Now, then it was Soviet Union. Now it's Russia. But Soviet Union was a communist country. Then, right now, is a dictatorship. Okay, we put that to rest. So easy, man, with these guys. Alliance spokeswoman Oana Lungescu, Romanian, said that the meeting will be held on Wednesday at the ambassador's level to consult on the latest developments and discuss Ukrainian grain transportation through the Black Sea. I covered another article a few minutes ago where an irrelevant former U.S. Admiral proposed that NATO vessels should be in the Black Sea shooting at Russian ships by protecting their shipments. It's just unbelievable. Okay, why don't you get it on ready? Get it on. Go over there and do what you do best. But I'm going to tell you why they don't. In his evening address on 22nd July, President Zelensky said that during a telephone conversation he had asked Stoltenberg to immediately convene a NATO-Ukraine Council due to Russia's aggressive steps in the Black Sea. That is a situation created in 2014. What the hell are you talking about, Emil? Yeah, in 2014. Now we got to this one, and we have to continue with these guys. It's just too easy to see through this bullshit. And what Zelensky is supposed to do, or is doing anyway, he's just trying to get NATO in a, to provoke the Russians. And the goal is Russia must go. That's what it is. And after Russia, they will use Russia as an example for the Chinese. And the Chinese have to bow down. If they don't bow down, they will say, see over there, Russia, the same thing will happen to you. And we have Taiwan ready for you as Ukraine. So what are you going to do? And then why is this? If you think that this is to spread freedom and democracy, then I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Don't vote. Or go and vote because it matters so much. Anyway, my friends, they have it already ready. It's a domination. But domination in the name of good. Self-appointed gatekeepers of truth, good, love, happiness is us. Yes. We're always on the right side of history. Because we write it. Man, this is so, anyway. So here we have it, my friends. NATO will convene that. I suspect they will come with a little declaration condemning Russia, but I don't think they will send vessels to escort the grain shipments if that would happen. If they do that, I am 99% certain the Russians will attack those NATO vessels in the Black Sea. They will blow them up. And those guys were going to retaliate and see where we're going to end up. Not good. Not good. Even worse, I would say. I think we're going to get to the worst case scenario, which is going to be... Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.